this episode of Author Showcase, we introduce you to a number of new books and authors we encountered at the AuthorsBroadcast.com coverage of the 2012 Chicago Tribune's Printers Row Lit Fest. So grab a pencil and paper and make a note of the books that look interesting. Then visit us online at AuthorsBroadcast.com/TV. The Chicago Tribune is the sponsor of Lit Fest and has no affiliation with this production.
We have a publishing company called City Files Press. We write and produce one book a year. They're about art and architecture and photography, and often they're on Chicago, and we're happy to be at the Printers Row Lit Fest. We have 3 books that we're selling. One, our most recent book, is called The Lost Panoramas, When Chicago Changed the River and the Land Beyond, which is based on 22,000 glass plate negatives that were found from the sanitary district, and they show what Chicago looked like 100 years ago. And Mike, you want to tell about the other book?
I'm Mike Williams of City Files Press. Our book from 3 years ago was Edgar Miller and the Handmade Home. Edgar Miller was an artist who came to Chicago in the 1920s, and by the mid-20s he was disassembling old Victorian homes and apartment buildings and reassembling them as what he called artist environments. And this book is really the first documentation of Edgar Miller's work in Chicago. Since so much of this work was in private homes, people just didn't have access to see it. So this is the first time that it's all been brought together in one book, and you can enjoy all this work that normally is only for private eyes.
So my name is Colin Jordan. I am one of the founders and a publisher at Siete Vientos, which means 7 winds. So we're a local Chicago press, and we are specializing in books by authors, particularly Latin American authors that are kind of forgotten or up and coming. Our first book was written by Manuel Abreu Adorno. He was a writer in Puerto Rico in the 70s, died in 1984, and has a bit of a cult following in Puerto Rico. He wrote a book of short stories that is called And the Hippies Came, or Llegaron los Hippies in Spanish. We did a translation. It's the first time it's available in English.
Hi, my name is Ellen Wade Beals. This is my book, Solace in So Many Words. It's an anthology of poetry, short stories, and essays, and it's all on the theme of solace. What gives you consolation? How do you keep going on? I have 52 contributors. Some of them are well known, like T.C. Boyle and the current poet laureate, Philip Levine, and other names you might not have heard of, but you will hear of because they're such great writers. So that's the premier title from Wade Words. Thank you.
I'm Jordan Miller of Academy Chicago Publishers, and we're celebrating our 37th year of book publishing. And we have a very eclectic list. We do mysteries, history, biography, fiction. We do serious books, entertaining books, books that are classics, really, like The History of the Great War is a famous book about World War I. It's considered to be the best actual book about the First World War as far as strategies and all that sort of thing is concerned. And so we do, we have 6 Charlie Chan books. Earl Zerbigas wrote only 6 of them, and we have all 6. And they're introduced by Marilyn Stasio, who is the mystery writer, the mystery reviewer, I should say, of the New York Times. So those are very popular. Our website is academychicago.com.
Hi, I'm Eric Beebe from Postmortem Press. We're based in Cincinnati. We are an independent press that's very author-centric. Our goal is to bridge that gap between self-publishing and like the big 6 publishers. So we try to find talented authors that haven't necessarily been read yet and give them an opportunity to be seen by the general public. We do a vast range of books from nonfiction to fiction, mystery, science fiction. In Chicago, one of our authors, Jim O'Connor, his story is our first foray into mystery. And Another Man's Treasure is sort of a story about a man who works as a professional organizer, and during a job kind of turns into a mystery, and he's tempted by a lot of things. One of the things that we do to try to help the unknown authors get known is that we include their short stories in collections with some well-known authors. Our most recent anthology is called Torn Realities, and it has a short story by Clive Barker in it. And by including the unknown authors in books with known people like Clive Barker, it helps broaden their audience, because people like this weekend have come by and said, "Oh, Clive Barker," and they pick this book up. They pick it up because they see his name, but ultimately they're going to read 18 other authors they may not have ever heard of, and hopefully they get a taste for what they can do, and then we'll seek out their work later.
Another Man's Treasure takes you into the dark corners and secret places of a decaying Victorian mansion, then into the troubled mind and heart of a devoted husband tortured by temptation. Feel the anguish of Ted McCormick as he struggles to resist the allure of a flirtatious woman, hungry for love from a decent man. You will share his fear and frustration as something or someone prevents him from finding the riches allegedly hidden in the mysterious mansion. You won't be disappointed. The final twist to the forbidden romance and the search for treasure will shock and surprise you. Available online, or ask for Another Man's Treasure by James V. O'Connor at your favorite local bookstore.
Okay, we're here at Printers Row Book Fest. We come here every year for at least regularly for the past 5 years. My name is Kathy Condon. This is my Christina. And we're twins, and we love books. I'm reading this summer is The Power of Myth by Joseph Campbell, and the book The Discoverers. I don't remember his name, but Person, right? Because he has a connection in Chicago as well. And then we're looking at Lucretius.
Right, I'm reading the book The Swerve by Stephen Greenblatt, and he writes about the rediscovery of an old Greek, I think it's Greek, poem by Titus Lucretius called On the Nature of Things, or in Latin, Rerum Natura.
And then I found the book Principia at the Rare Books store over there. That's been on my list, along with the Gutenberg Bible, Shakespeare's folio, the first folio, the Bay Song, Psalms. I have a whole list of them.
My name is Jennifer Lewis. I'm a chef instructor at Washburn Culinary Institute, and I've been teaching college for about 9 years and felt there was a lack of information about entrepreneurs and different baking history stories, and I came up with the idea to put this book together. I have 50 contemporary recipes as well as historical recipes. Palmer House Hilton Brownie, the story of the Twinkie, which came out of Illinois. It's a depression cake originally filled with banana. Many stories, wonderful stories within a 200-mile radius of Chicago. The almond cake that I have samples of today is the Mary Todd Lincoln cake. She prepared it while courting Lincoln and also in the White House. It was originally made for the Marquis de Lafayette. She brought it from Kentucky to Illinois.
Recipes for Life is a 350-page Catholic family cookbook that will feed your body and your soul. Filled with 300 tried and true recipes your family will love, plus short inspirational life stories of 80 virtuous saints that will help nourish your family's faith. Consider having a saint night once a week. Recipes for Life will help you make dinner time special by incorporating Catholic faith and traditions into your family's daily routine. You'll also enjoy the fun and amusing Catholic Family Circus chapter dividers. Order online at CatholicFamilyCookbook.com.
books, and we do local and regional history books, and the idea is that they're by locals for a local general audience. We've got a wide range of things, everything from stories about sweet baking to famous notorious criminals, and really that's about it.
I'm Emily Vickerson. I'm from Allium Press of Chicago. We publish fiction with a Chicago connection. Our tagline is Rescuing Chicago from Capone, one book at a time. And we publish thrillers, mysteries, historical fiction, and literary fiction, all with a Chicago connection.
So we're now at a point where three of your, correct me if I'm wrong, right, but three of your plays have been turned into movies. There was Bug, directed by William Friedkin, and then coming out next month is the movie version of Killer Joe. And then coming out, I guess, in what, 2 years, or however long it is when they actually do it, is the long anticipated movie version of August Osage County. So let's catch up with both of those. Let's start out with...
Hi, I'm Greg, and I've got a few books out here today. One of them is a book called The Chicago L, and it tells the story, the history of the L through photographs. We've got 250 photographs in the book. Some of these photos have never been published before. And so it's a very rich, compelling way to tell the story of the L. And it's great to see how ridership in the L is increasing. Getting more and more interest in this book as more and more people are riding the L, looking for alternative forms of transportation. To go along with the book, I created a flyer that lists my favorite L movies of all time. I got my top 10 here, things like Blues Brothers and Code of Silence, whatnot, some great movies. And runners-up on the back. So this will give people an idea of some movies to rent so they can learn more about the L and get more into Chicago history.
My name is David Berner, and my first book was Accidental Lessons. It's a story about 1 year of teaching in the East Aurora School District, which is right outside of Chicago. But it's really the story, it's a teacher's story, but it's really the story of how the second half of your life sort of brings to light what you want to do and what you should be doing with the rest of your life. So that's what this book is about. The other book is a collection of short stories, all about 2,000 words or less. They were stories, many of them were published in literary journals and some commercial magazines, short stories. The sort of the web that pulls all these together is about longing, about the kinds of things we think we can't live without, but end up really living without and doing pretty well about it and learning something from it. So these are short fiction stories, and this one is a memoir, Accidental Lessons.
Okay, so I am Joanne Fastoff, and I am the author of 3 books, and all 3 books focus on the same FBI agent. And it is a mystery series, but each book can stand alone. It's not a sequel. But my current book is The Lie, and it is about the illicit diamond industry from the victim's perspective, specifically from Africa. And there are 4 couriers, diamond couriers, coming into the U.S., and they're murdered. And my FBI agent, Howard Watson, has to find out who's murdering these couriers before there's a 5th murder. Okay, my books are available on Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, and Author House, which is my publisher, and also on Kindle and Nook.
I'm Molly Lewis. I am a publisher with Zova Books, which is an independent publishing company based out of Los Angeles. We've been around for a few years now. We publish mostly genre fiction, and recently branched out with several children's novels and teen novels as well. And we pretty much just love reading, and any book that inspires us is a book we want to publish.
This is a terrifying, intense story of the dark people and places that lurk just beneath the surface of seemingly normal, small-town America. Tad McGreevy dreams about evil in horrifyingly vivid detail, but doesn't know if the evil acts he witnesses in his nightmares are happening now, are in the past, or are going to occur in the future. Thankfully, he has a power that he has never revealed that will allow him to wage a battle to the death against those who would harm the ones he loves. Read The Color of Evil by Connie Corcoran Wilson. We're anxious to hear from our Authors Showcase viewers. Visit authorsbroadcast.com/TV to leave a comment. Your feedback is important to us. We want to know what you think about the show and if there's any specific information you would like us to include. We produce a new Authors Showcase episode every month, and your comments and suggestions may be used in a future episode. So visit us online at authorsbroadcast.com/TV.
Tragedy devastates the West Coast, and the nation cries out for answers. Was it an accident or an enemy attack? When we need the government's protection most, can we trust our leaders to tell us the truth? The clock is ticking, time is winding down, and the team must act quickly in an attempt to avert war. In this action-filled suspense novel, author Maurice Goodwin will have your heart pounding to see what happens in the aftermath.
I am J.R. Turner, and this is Redemption. It's my first urban fantasy. It's set in a post-apocalyptic future. It's about a half-angel who's sent back to Earth to earn her redemption, and she teams up with a half-demon to save the last of mankind.
Hi, my name's Kyle Lemire. I'm a photographer here in Chicago, and I am selling my visitor's book that I self-published about a year ago. I took a picture of everyone that visited my studio for 1 year, and just curious to see how many people that you meet in 1 year, who comes through your life. And so after a year, I put together, self-published this book here, and now here today to sell that and share with people, all the people that came into my life in the last year.
My name is CJ. I'm with the Neighborhood Writers Alliance. And what we are is we have groups of writers that meet throughout the city once a week, and we workshop our pieces. And they're pieces about their lives and their families, their poems, their essays, their short stories, and they're not fiction. And we work the piece, shop the pieces until we get to the point where they're good enough to be published. And we publish them 3 times a year in the Journal of Ordinary Thought. We also have a blog online at www.jot.com where you can go online and read some of our writers' works.
In Pursuit of Love, Spirituality, and Happiness is a romantic novel of 2 lovers whose cultural and spiritual traditions span several continents, but their desire for true love and an authentic expression of their faith transcends corruption, power, and sacrifice. Jonathan, a handsome young American, born into a very rich, powerful, politically influential, and glamorous family, is tormented by his father's corrupt nature, which he struggles to overcome by experiencing life on the edge of giant waves in coastal waters of Hawaii, while he endeavors to find the greater meaning of life in the teachings of Christianity and Buddhism. Oleana, a full-blooded Hawaiian beauty, reconciles her primary Christian beliefs with her deep-rooted ancestral Hawaiian spirituality, which she celebrates through her love of nature, dance, and song. Jonathan and Oleana find each other. We need love. We need spiritual faith. We want to be happy. You will find the answers in pursuit of love, spirituality, and happiness.
If you want to learn more about this book, visit www.meastar.com.
We're watching Author Showcase.
Hi there, I am Imran Ahmed. I'm the author of The Perfect Gentleman, A Muslim Boy Meets the West, which is a narrative non-fiction book. It's a memoir of growing up Muslim in the West. Now, although it's a memoir, and it's all true, the memoir is actually a vehicle for many other serious discussions which are woven into the narrative. Discussions about philosophy, religion, sociology, politics, foreign relations and so on, but they're woven into the narrative in a way that's in balance with the humour of the story. So people say it's a very funny book, but it's also very serious, and that's apparently its key strength. When it was published in the UK under the title Unimagined, it was in the best books of the year lists of two major newspapers, The Guardian and The Independent, and then it was also in the best books of the year list of the Sydney Morning Herald in Australia. It's now actually treated as English literature in some institutions, and I was very honoured to be invited back to my old university where I studied chemistry to actually address the English literature students because it was on their course syllabus, and I was the only writer on the list who wasn't dead. Since it's been published here in the US as The Perfect Gentleman, it actually made #1 in Oprah's list of 10 titles to pick up now in the May edition of her magazine, so that was a very nice endorsement. And I have now been doing a 50-city speaking tour of the entire United States. I started in New York, I made my way south, and then across the south to Texas, and through the deserts, Arizona and so on, into California, and then up to Seattle, and then back across the north Midwest. Finally reached Chicago. I have 1 week left. I'll be making my way back to New York, and then flying out back to where I actually live. I'm from England, but I'm currently living in Kuala Lumpur. So people say, oh, you're doing a 50-city tour, you must have had some amazing experiences. I guess I've had some very interesting ones. I've driven many hours through deserts and mountains and prairie lands and cornfields and so on. I've met a lot of people, done many speaking events, been to Red Lobster and Waffle House a lot and so on. Tried not to put on too much weight. But my overwhelming experience of people has been just very positive. Everywhere I go, people have been very friendly and polite and interested. And even when I say that I'm a Muslim, there hasn't been that negative reaction that I'm supposed to get, which I've picked up in the press and so on. It hasn't really manifested. So people have just been extraordinarily friendly and interested and very warm-hearted. So my book, it's The Perfect Gentleman, A Muslim Boy Meets the West by Imran Ahmed. Everything about it's on the website, which also has my Huffington Post journal about my 50-city tour. That website, it's perfect-gent.com, perfect-gent.com, and that has a lot of funny stories and all the information about the book and the claim and so on. So please do check it out, and send me an email if you like the book. If you don't like it, just forget about it. Yeah.
Zapata. I'm managing editor of a new national independent press. We're based in Chicago and Austin, and we're called Anti-Book Club. We have started since September 2011 with our first release, and this book is called A Brief History of Authoritarianism. So we asked a bunch of nationally recognized and renowned writers to respond to the idea of imagine a future without any readers. What length would you go to as a writer to sort of get into literature and sort of get people to reading again? And so we have, you see, we have Andre Cordrescu, who works for NPR, and Ben Greenman, who works for The New Yorker. And we found a long-lost short story, additionally, from Terry Southern, written in the 1960s, only in Paris. And it's about an art museum that is blown up. So it's a very dystopic sort of collection of short stories. This is our second one, The Diesel, which is newly translated. It's by an Arab Emirate poet named Fani El-Sawaidi, and it's a beautifully lyrically written novella about change and sort of cultural revolution in the Middle East.
Every night, 5 to 7 million children wet their beds. It seems that bedwetting is one of the last taboo family issues. Parents don't like to talk about it because they're afraid their child will be labeled as lazy or lacking self-control. These are myths, and the problem can be overcome. In the meantime, children with unresolved bedwetting are often punished and excluded from sleepovers with friends, can't attend overnight camps, or even family vacations. Too often, the child is shamed by parents or siblings, and his or her self-esteem is compromised. It doesn't have to be that way. The book Getting to Dry is written by the Try for Dry team at one of the nation's leading children's hospitals. Visit tryfordry.com to learn how you can help your child overcome bedwetting.
In today's fast-paced business environment, people want to know as quickly as possible what your website is about and how you can help solve their problems. A fast show and tell will keep visitors on your site longer and help them better understand your product or service. Reno Lovison Marketing produces website video and provides a variety of marketing-related services for growing businesses. I predict nearly every company will have at least one video or multimedia presentation on their website, and we want to help make that happen. Let us show you how to use video on the web to promote your website, product, or service, announce your new book, or provide training to your staff, distributors, or end users. Take a look at some of our example videos and explore some of our other services. Call or email me personally today. Let me know what you're hoping to achieve, and I'll show you how we can help.
About 250 miles north of Chicago, Door County is Wisconsin's premier vacation destination, offering visitors of all ages outdoor fun combined with great food, performing arts, shopping, and of course, natural beauty. DoorCountyNavigator.com will help you find the perfect place to stay, play, and dine, providing all the resources you'll need to plan your trip. Be in the know before you go. To learn more about Door County, tune into A Peek Inside the Door, seen weekly on Chicago Cable, Channel 25.